The ominous signal. The night sky above the galactic core was silent, stars burning like tiny candles in endless darkness. Yet in the middle of this peace, an alarm rang inside the watchtower of the Orion Belt. A young officer named Kieran froze. As red lights blinked across the console, the signal was weak, old, and broken, but it carried a code that had not been seen for centuries. Kieran leaned closer, his hands trembling. He whispered to himself, "This cannot be real." The code was written in the old Terran style, the kind of code only humans used, and not just any human code. This was the mark of the Black Ship. Across the station, senior commanders rushed to the control room, their faces pale. They stared at the data streaming across the monitors. None wanted to say the name, but they all knew. The signal matched. Ancient records that had been buried deep by the Galaxy Council. The Black Ship was destroyed 200 years ago, one officer said, his voice shaking. This must be a trick. But the signal did not fade. It grew stronger, each pulse like a heartbeat, steady and unstoppable, echoing across star systems. The Council's encrypted line activated. Voices of alien leaders filled the chamber, each speaking over the other, fear clear in every word. "This is impossible," one shouted. "That monster was buried in the void." Another voice, sharp and cold, replied, "If the Black Ship has returned, none of us are safe." Kieran watched the screen as the signal changed. It began to form an image. A shadow stretched across the stars, sharp edges of a ship so vast, it dwarfed entire fleets, blacker than space itself. It was not fully there, only a ghostly echo. But even that image sent fear through every officer present. "The myth is real," the commander whispered. "The humans are returning." Far, away on a desert planet, merchants looked up as their comms picked the same signal. Children cried as static turned into a deep hum. Old veterans of forgotten wars fell to their knees. They remembered the last time the Black Ship had come. It was not just a vessel, it was a weapon of legend. It was a promise of human vengeance. Inside the central archives of the Galaxy Council, ancient scrolls and forbidden files were unlocked. Dusty records spoke of a ship that was never defeated, a ship that carried an entire crew into the unknown. Vanishing after the Great Human War, the Council had declared it destroyed, but in truth, no one ever found the wreck. Now the signal told the truth. It was never gone. It was waiting. The Council's emergency beacon lit across 1,000 worlds. Leaders demanded answers. Why was the ship returning now? Why after so many years? Some argued it was only a machine with no soul left. Others said where the Black Ship sailed, humans would follow, and humans meant war. Kieran sat quietly, his eyes never leaving the dark image on the screen. He felt the weight of history pressing down. He knew this was not a random ghost signal. This was a warning. The commander turned to the crew, his voice heavy. "We will report this at once, but remember, not a single word leaves this station. The galaxy must not fall into chaos." But it was too late. The signal spread like wildfire, bouncing from satellite to satellite, picked up by smugglers, travelers, and outposts within hours. Millions across the stars knew the name that was forbidden to speak. The Black Ship. On distant worlds, whispers began. Stories of the ship told, in secret taverns grew louder. People spoke of its return as if it were destiny. Some hoped the humans would come to break the chains of the Empire. Others prayed never to see it. Among the fleets of the Empire, admirals ordered their ships to prepare. Every weapon pointed outward, but deep in their hearts, they knew their fleets were nothing compared to the shadow that now stirred. The signal pulsed again, stronger. A low vibration shook the walls of the watchtower, and for the first time, words appeared with the code. "We are awake." Every officer froze. The words were simple, but they carried more weight than any fleet. It meant the Black Ship was not just a ghost. It was alive and it was aware. Kieran whispered again, almost too quiet to hear. "The humans are back." The commander clenched his fists, knowing that history was about to repeat. The galaxy had forgotten fear, but fear was returning. The omen was here in the endless darkness beyond the reach of any star. A colossal shadow stirred. Ancient engines hummed like thunder. Black armor absorbed the light. The ship's heart beat once more. The Black Ship had returned, and with it came the promise of change. The Council in fear, the emergency chamber of... The Galaxy Council was filled with noise, dozens of alien voices clashing, each leader shouting over the other. The air shimmered with tension as hollow screens projected the image of the signal, the shadow of the black ship floating like a ghost across every display. The Grand Speaker, a tall and ancient creature with golden skin, raised his staff, his voice cut through the chaos. Silence. Yet even his command could not erase the fear in their eyes. "The signal is real," he said, his tone heavy. "It is the same code recorded in our forbidden archives, the same one used by humans during the last war." A nervous counselor with scaled skin leaned forward. "We all know the stories. The black ship was the weapon that destroyed fleets by itself. No army stood against it. If it has returned, then we are already lost." Another slammed his clawed hand on the table. "Nonsense, the humans are gone. Their empire is dust. The ship is an old machine drifting in space. We can destroy it." But whispers grew louder, even among the bravest. Fear cracked their voices. From the far end of the chamber, a voice spoke softly, calm but chilling. It was the voice of the Serani ambassador, one of the oldest races in the galaxy. "You forget the truth. Where there is a black ship, there are humans, and humans do not return without reason." The chamber fell quiet. Every leader stared. The name alone brought memories. Humans, the unpredictable species, the ones who defied every treaty, who fought even when defeat was certain, who had once shaken the very throne of the Empire. The Grand Speaker lowered his staff. "This council was built after the last human war. We swore never to let their kind rise again. But now it seems we are facing the same shadow we feared." Another counselor stood, his voice shaking. "What do we do if the ship is alive? If the humans have returned, then nothing can stop them." Arguments broke out again. Some demanded war, others begged for retreat. Some spoke of sealing entire sectors, abandoning worlds if necessary. But the truth was written on their faces. They had no plan. One general, old and scarred, stepped forward, his voice strong. "If we run, we show weakness. If we fight, we may still have a chance. The humans bleed like we bleed. They are not gods." But the Serani ambassador smiled, a slow, bitter smile. "You say they bleed, yet every war with them ended with our blood, not theirs. Do you wish to test this ship again? Do you wish to call them back in full?" Silence fell again, heavy and suffocating. On the outer walls of the council city, civilians gathered as rumors spread. The words traveled faster than any guard could silence. "The black ship has returned," they whispered. Mothers pulled children close. Merchants closed their stalls. Veterans wept in silence. Back inside the chamber, the Grand Speaker finally spoke. "Then it is decided. We will send our fleets to intercept the signal to confirm the truth. If it is the black ship, we must face it before panic destroys the galaxy." "But if it is real?" another asked. "What then?" The Grand Speaker closed his eyes, his golden skin glowing faintly. "Then we pray it does not seek revenge." Far away in the shadows of space, the signal pulsed again, stronger, spreading like fire across the stars. In a hidden bunker beneath, the council chambers, archivists unsealed ancient records. They revealed images of past battles, fleets burning, worlds falling, and always at the center, the black ship, unbroken, unstoppable. Kieran, the young officer from Orion Belt, had been summoned to testify. His hands still shook as he spoke before the council. "I saw the signal myself. It was not a trick. The ship is awake." And it spoke. The chamber leaned in. "What did it say?" Kieran swallowed hard. "It said, 'We are awake.'" The words echoed in the vast chamber like thunder. No one dared to speak after that. The meaning was clear. The ship was not drifting. It was not forgotten. It was waiting. And now it had chosen to return. The Serani ambassador rose slowly, her eyes cold. "The galaxy is not ready. The humans will come, and they will demand a price." The Grand Speaker nodded, his voice trembling for the first time in centuries. "Prepare the fleets, warn the outer worlds, tell them to pray, the black ship has returned." Beyond the windows of the chamber, the stars seemed darker, as if the shadow of the ship already reached across them. And somewhere in the void, ancient engines stirred again, the heartbeat of the black ship echoing into the silence of space. The galaxy had spoken in fear, but the humans had not yet spoken. Their silence was the most terrifying thing of all. The human crew awakens deep within the shadow of the black ship. Silence ruled. For centuries it had drifted in the void, engines quiet, weapons asleep. Yet in the heart of the vessel, something stirred. Cold chambers hissed as frost cracked on. Glass, one by one, pods of cryosleep began to glow. Within them, the crew of humans opened their eyes, slow, confused, and heavy. Commander Arik was the first to rise, his breath fogged in the freezing air. He gripped the edge of the pod, his voice rough. Status report. Lights flickered to life. Old metal groaned, and the ship's voice, deep and mechanical, filled the chamber. Systems restored, crew awakening sequence complete, time since last activation, 211 years. The humans staggered to their feet, their uniforms, still intact but stiff from the long sleep. They looked around, some eyes wide with disbelief, others filled with silent dread. One young officer whispered, "We were not supposed to wake again unless—" The commander turned, his face stern. "Unless the galaxy called us back." The black ship's core thrummed like a beating heart. Data scrolled across its vast screens, galaxies mapped, enemy fleets highlighted. The signal that had spread across the stars now echoed inside the ship. Lieutenant Mara, her hands shaking, touched the console. "The Council detected us. They know we are awake." The commander's eyes hardened. "Then the oath stands. We return, and we finish what was left undone." For a moment, silence fell over the crew. The weight of history pressed heavy on them. They remembered why they had taken this mission, why they had allowed themselves to sleep for centuries. The black ship was not just steel and circuits, it was alive, bonded to humanity. It carried memories of battles long past. It remembered the screams of burning fleets, the cries of worlds that betrayed humans. It had sworn to never rest until justice was complete. Mara looked around, her voice low, her voice. "Do you think the galaxy has changed? Do you think they learned?" The commander shook his head. "Power does not change, greed does not fade. They will still fear us, and they will still try to destroy us." The ship itself responded, its voice heavy and ancient. "Fear detected, Council fleets mobilizing, their weapons are aimed at this vessel, they prepare for war." The humans exchanged glances, not of fear, but of grim resolve. They had seen this before, they had lived it. The galaxy's answer was always the same. "Arm the ship," Arik commanded. "But do not fire, not yet." Weapons hummed awake, shields powered, corridors glowed with blue light. The black ship stretched its wings like a beast waking from endless sleep. One officer, older than the rest, placed his hand on the dark walls, his voice soft. "She still remembers us." The ship pulsed in answer. Its lights flickered as if alive. The bond between human and ship was deeper than any code. It was loyalty. Far outside, in the dark between stars, the ship moved, slow at first, then faster, its engines whispering thunder, its shadow spreading wide. The humans gathered on the bridge, staring into the endless black. Ahead lay a galaxy that had forgotten them, a galaxy that thought them dead. Now that same galaxy would see them again. "Course set," Mara announced, her voice steady. "Toward the Council's core worlds." The commander nodded, his expression carved in stone. They must be reminded who we are. Yet even among the crew, questions burned. Were they here for vengeance or survival? Was their mission to punish or to protect? The ship gave no answer. It only carried them forward. On the far edges of Council space, fleets moved into formation. Millions of soldiers prepared, yet their hands shook because they knew the stories. They knew this ship could not be broken. Inside the bridge, the humans stood tall, their eyes burning, their hearts heavy but unyielding. The black ship had awakened. The humans had returned, and in that moment, the galaxy felt small again. First contact. The edge of Council space burned with activity. Fleets gathered like storm clouds. Their ships stretched from one horizon to the other, engines blazing, weapons armed. Every admiral waited for the shadow to appear. On the command deck of the flagship Eternal Flame, Admiral Tovek stood tall, his scaled skin glowing under the red lights. His voice was hard, but his eyes betrayed fear. Remember, the stories are only stories. The black ship is just a machine. It bleeds metal like any other vessel. His officers nodded, though their hands trembled. Whispers spread through the crew. Soldiers prayed under their breath. Some repeated the names of their families as if words could shield them from what was coming. Then silence fell. The dark came alive. From the void, the black ship slid forward, vast and silent, its surface blacker than the space around it. The stars vanished behind its hull. Its presence crushed the heart of every soldier watching. Admiral Tovek clenched his jaw. All ships prepare to fire. The first wave unleashed. Hundreds of missiles and plasma beams streaked across the void. The night turned into fire. Explosions lit up the black ship. Clouds of energy swirled. Alarms rang in every council vessel. But when the flames cleared, the black ship still moved untouched. Its armor drank the fire like water. Panic rippled through the fleet. One young pilot screamed into the comms, "It does not break. It does not even slow down." Tovek shouted back, "Focus fire. Everything we have. Bring it down." Thousands of cannons lit the sky, their fury bright as suns. Yet the black ship glided forward, unshaken, weapons retracted and extended, engines roaring like ancient thunder. Then it answered. From its core, a single beam of light erupted, silent, clean, and final. It cut through the nearest cruiser as if slicing paper. The ship vanished in a flash, leaving only dust and echoes. Every council soldier froze, not from the destruction but from the silence that followed. No sound, no explosion, only the memory of a ship that no longer existed. One blast, one kill. The black ship spoke, its voice echoing across every comm. Channel deep and unyielding, "Do not resist." Some soldiers dropped their weapons, others shouted prayers, yet the admirals screamed for battle. Pride and fear twisted together. The black ship's beam fired again. 2 more cruisers gone, entire wings of fighters erased in seconds. Their signals vanished from the maps. Still, the council ships fought. A storm of fire against an ocean of shadow, but nothing touched the black ship. Its armor healed, its shields bent space itself. Inside its bridge, Commander Arik stood calm, watching the chaos unfold. His crew tense but unbroken. Mara whispered, "They never learn, do they?" Arik shook his head. "Fear blinds them. They believe numbers can crush us, but numbers mean nothing against truth." The ship pulsed as if agreeing, its voice rumbling. "They have chosen war. They will learn." Admiral Tovek's hand shook as he clutched the railing, his fleet collapsing. Around him, this cannot be real. No weapon should hold such power. On the lower decks of his flagship, soldiers abandoned their stations. Some refused to fight. Others begged to surrender. Chaos consumed the fleet faster than the black ship's fire. Then the black ship spoke again. This time not to the admirals, but to every soldier. Every civilian tuned into the frequency. Its voice carved into their minds. "We are not here for conquest. We are here because you broke the oath." The words rippled through the galaxy. Many did not understand, but the old ones remembered. The oath of silence, the pact made when humans vanished. A promise never to repeat the crimes of the past, and yet the council had broken it. Admiral Tovek stared into the void, his pride shattered. "If you are not here for conquest, then why destroy us?" The ship did not answer, but its shadow moved closer, massive enough to eclipse his flagship. Inside, Arik gave the order. "Cease fire. No more deaths. Let them decide. Fear is enough." The black ship halted, its weapons folding back. Silence returned. The enemy fleet drifted broken and trembling. Dozens of ships gone, but most still alive, staring at the shadow that had chosen mercy. Tovek dropped to his knees, not from wounds, but from the weight of realization the stories were true. The legends were real, and the humans had returned not to fight but to judge. The black ship turned slowly, its engines glowing like suns, and with one final pulse of energy, it vanished into the darkness, leaving only silence behind. But that silence was heavier than Any battle cry, every soldier knew this was only the beginning. The secret history, in the deep halls of the Galaxy Council archives, torches of blue fire burned, shadows stretched across ancient walls. 1,000 locked vaults held truths the Council swore never to reveal. But tonight, one vault opened, the eye. Serani Ambassador stood before the hidden chamber, her thin fingers trembling as she pressed the ancient code. Gears turned, locks snapped, and the door slid open with a groan. Inside lay relics from another age, broken armor, burnt banners, and a single book sealed in iron. Dust fell as she touched it. The book hummed like it was alive. She whispered, "The oath." The counselors behind her hesitated. None wished to. See, but all knew they must. The fear of the black ship's return left them no choice. The ambassador opened the book. Inside were words written in human script, words older than most of their species. The promise that ended the last human war. "Will vanish into the dark, and you will not seek us. You will not hunt us. You will not build chains for us again. In silence we rest. In silence we forgive. But if silence is broken, then we return." The chamber froze. No one breathed. The weight of those words crushed. Every soul present, the oath was not rumor, not myth. It was real, and it was broken. A younger counselor gasped, "We built colonies in forbidden zones. We mined the ruins they left behind. We said the pact was old and meaningless." The ambassador's eyes burned. "And now you see the cost." Images unfolded in the archive screens. Battles long forgotten. Human fleets surrounded on all sides. Worlds burning. Yet the humans never surrendered. They built the black ship as their final weapon. A vessel that carried their fury, their hope, and their vow. Legend said the ship vanished into the void with its crew. A grave that drifted forever, but the truth was clear now. It was not a grave. It was a promise. Meanwhile, aboard the black ship, Commander Arik stood in the command chamber, the walls alive with memory. The ship projected visions of its past. The crew watched in silence as their own history unfolded before their eyes. They saw the oath being sworn, human leaders standing before alien rulers, voices steady even as their people suffered. The black ship itself listening, recording every word. Mara whispered, "We were betrayed once. We gave them peace. And they used it to grow stronger, and now they break the same promise." The ship's voice rumbled, deep as thunder. Oath detected, oath broken, judgment required. The crew felt the weight of those words. They were not conquerors. They were guardians. Of a broken pact, Arik's face was stone, but his eyes burned. "Then we do not fight for revenge. We fight for the truth. We fight to remind them." The ship glowed, its engines humming like a heart, as if it approved. Back in the council chamber, fear turned into argument. Some shouted that the oath was unfair, that no species could be bound forever by human words. Others screamed that breaking it had doomed them all. The Serani ambassador spoke last, her voice cold as ice. "You speak of unfair, yet you forget. It was we who hunted them. It was we who enslaved them. They gave us mercy, and we spat on it. Do not call their anger unfair." Silence followed, and in that silence everyone knew. The black ship had returned not by chance, but by law older than empires. Across the galaxy, whispers grew stronger. Rebels spoke the humans' name with hope. Slaves prayed for their return. Rulers feared the collapse of their thrones. And above them all, the black ship moved, its shadow vast, its purpose clear. Was not only a weapon, it was memory itself, a living oath forged in fire. Inside the bridge, Mara turned to Arik, her voice soft but steady. "Do you think the galaxy will kneel or fight again?" Arik looked into the endless stars. "They will fight because they cannot understand mercy. And when they fight, they will learn why silence was their only safety." The black ship thrummed, its voice echoing across the void. "The past has awakened, the oath is broken, the reckoning begins." And as its engines roared, the galaxy trembled, not from the ship's power, but from the truth that no one could escape. The secret was no longer hidden. The black ship never forgot. The rising storm. The galaxy stirred like a beast waking in terror. Across 1,000 worlds, the order was the same. Mobilize everything. Fleets that had not sailed in centuries were Dragged from their docks, factories burned day and night. Soldiers were armed by the millions. From the icy moons of Ziran to the burning suns of Kithara, banners were raised. Enemies who once swore to kill each other now stood side by side, united not by trust, but by fear. Fear of the black ship, Admiral Tovek, scarred from his first encounter, now stood at the head of the Council's grand fleet, his voice broadcast across every channel. This is no longer a war between species. This is survival itself. If the humans rise again, none of us will remain free. But deep inside, even he doubted his words. The fleet stretched farther than eyes could see. Their ships so many they darkened the stars. Yet every soldier whispered the same question: what if it is not enough? Meanwhile, in the void beyond their reach, the black ship prepared. Its engines glowed brighter. Its weapons hummed with silent fury. Inside the bridge, Commander Arik studied the maps of the galaxy. Red lights marked the gathering fleets, their numbers endless. Mara broke the silence, her voice steady but low. They are coming with everything they have. They fear us more than death itself. Arik nodded. Good. Fear is the truth they buried. And now they must face it. The ship's voice rumbled. Enemy armadas detected, probability of total engagement, 99.7%. The humans stood at their stations, no panic in their eyes, only resolve. They knew the storm would come. They had been born for it. In the council chambers, panic consumed the leaders. Some argued for negotiation. Others demanded extermination. The Serani ambassador only shook her head. You do not understand. The humans will not come to destroy. They will come to remind you. And that will break you more than fire. Her words were ignored. Pride drowned wisdom. The first fleets moved. Billions of engines roared. Their formation spread across entire sectors. It was the largest armada in galactic history, and yet it trembled. On a desert world, civilians watched the skies as their defenders left. Children asked their mothers if the humans would kill them. The mothers could not answer, because none truly knew. Back on the black ship, the humans walked the halls, touching the walls as, if greeting an old friend, the ship pulsed like a living heart. Every corridor glowing faint blue, Mara whispered. She is alive. She remembers every battle, every oath, every betrayal. Arik's voice was cold as steel, and she remembers the promise too. We did not come to burn the galaxy, we came because they broke the silence. The ship spoke again, its voice deep and final. Their fleets gather. They believe unity will grant victory. They forget unity. Without honor is hollow. The humans took their places. The storm was near. At the edge of neutral space, the first contact came. Scouts of the Grand Fleet met the shadow, their transmissions cut short. Silence fell. Then screams. Then nothing. Admiral Tovek clenched his fists as reports poured in. They are testing us. They want to see if we run. We will not run. We will drown them with our fire. Orders spread. The largest armada in history turned toward one shadow. Billions of soldiers prepared for the clash, but in their hearts many knew the truth. Numbers could not erase fear. The black ship drifted forward, alone, yet vast. Its shadow covering the stars. Its voice echoed across all comms once more. You broke the oath, you summoned us, now you must decide, kneel or fall. Silence followed, then fire. The storm began. The dawn of Book 3. The storm of fleets filled the void, billions of engines blazing, weapons charged. The galaxy had never seen such power in one place. From the smallest fighter to the largest dreadnought, every vessel pointed toward the same shadow. The black ship stood alone, vast and silent, its black hull swallowing the stars. No banners, no allies, only one ship against the galaxy. Admiral Tovek gave the order, his voice breaking. All ships, fire at will. The sky erupted, rivers of light and fire streaked across space. Missiles rained, beams cut through the dark. The noise of war shook the void. But when the flames cleared, the black ship still moved unharmed, its armor glowing faint, its shadow unbroken. Inside the bridge, Commander Arik stood calm, the crew steady. Their hands tight on their stations, Mara whispered. It is always the same. They think fear will make us fall, but fear only blinds them. The ship's voice rumbled. Enemy fire absorbed. Probability of victory. Absolute. Auric raised his hand. Return fire, but not to kill, to remind. The black ship answered. A wave of light cut through the fleets, not destroying all but carving a path. Ships split apart, yet many survived. The message was clear. We can end you, but we choose not to. Across the enemy comms, soldiers cried. Some begged for retreat, some dropped their weapons, admirals shouted for control. But chaos grew. Then the black ship spoke. Its voice carried not through machines, but into minds, into the hearts of every living being who faced it. We are not here for conquest, we are not here for your worlds, we are here because you broke the silence. The oath was your shield, you shattered it. Now you must choose, stand with us or fall alone. The words echoed across millions of ships, into council chambers, into homes, into hearts. Admiral Tovek fell silent, his claws gripping the railing. He could not speak, for he felt the truth in those words. On a distant world, the Serani ambassador whispered to her aides, "This is no war. This is judgment." The galaxy trembled. Leaders argued. Some screamed to keep fighting, others begged to surrender, but the soldiers who faced the black ship had already decided. Many turned their ships away, refusing to fire again. Inside the black ship, the crew watched as the fleets wavered. Mara's eyes burned. They see it now. They understand fear, but do they understand mercy? Aric's voice was heavy. They will, or they will fall. The ship glowed brighter. Its engines thundered. The stars bent around it. Its presence pressed into every soul. And then silence fell. The fleet stopped firing. The void grew still. Only the heartbeat of the black ship echoed. In that silence, the galaxy stood on the edge, their pride against their survival, their fear against their hope. The ship spoke one last time, its voice soft but final. The dawn has come. The choice is yours. The words lingered. Then the black ship turned, moving deeper into space. Not fleeing, not hiding, but waiting, its shadow stretching wide, a reminder that judgment was not over. In council chambers, leaders collapsed into their seats. The Serani ambassador spoke quietly. They gave us a chance, and that chance may never come again. On distant worlds, slaves whispered the human's name with hope, rulers hid in fear, and common people prayed to stars they never believed in. Inside the bridge, the humans stood together, Aric's voice steady. Book 3 begins not with war, but with a choice. We will see what they choose. The black ship sailed into the dark, its engines a slow thunder, carrying with it the weight of a galaxy's future. And as its shadow vanished into the endless void, every being across the stars knew